All right, all right. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. Yes, this is the big show that I was talking to you about today. Yeah, man. But before we even get into anything, the first thing we have to do is to play our big, bad intro. So here we go.
I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are.
All right. Yeah, man. People, tell us what you think about that. You understand me? Again, we want to, before we even get into anything, we want to say big thank you to all our subscribers. As you know, yeah, man, this week, big deal, big deal. And that is due to all our subscribers. What happened? You know what happened? We have passed 500 subscribers, and that is because of you. And we want to say a big thank you to all the persons who made that possible. You understand me? Today we have a big show for you. You're gonna enjoy it. I am telling you, you're gonna really love it. And we have Pioneer who will be here with us today, and G Star will be here with us today, and Chris Lynch will be here with us today to discuss some NBA. In fact, Pioneer is in the house early. Yeah, man, he's here in the house, and we're gonna add him to the feed. We just sent out the link. Watch this. If you're on, please begin to like and share. Right, we just sent it out. So Pioneer, you have the link right now in your WhatsApp. Just send that link out to all your friends. Let them know that you're on to discuss some basketball. Yeah, man. And so I'm going to add Pioneer to the stream. There he is, people. You wonder where he is. There you go. That's him right there. Pioneer. Yeah, man. Why don't you greet the people? Yeah, man, you're on mute. So yeah, man, you're mute. Go ahead, Pioneer.
Yeah, man, I'm saying we're here. The NBA is on in full effect. Looking forward to a exciting and informative podcast today. As exciting as the NBA playoffs has been since it has been on.
All right. Respect Pioneer, and then we have G Star. He's not here yet, and Chris Lynch is also going to be joining us. Right. So if you're on right now, please remember share the video. If you have not yet, please subscribe to the channel. You understand me? Really love and appreciate your support. Right. Make a comment as well. You can always send in your questions, and we will gladly respond to those questions. Pioneer, here's what I wanted to do. I mean, why don't you, based on the picks, I think the last show that we did, you made some picks in terms of the winners in the first round. I don't know if you remember all your picks. I can remind you, but I'm going to give you the floor now to talk about your picks and tell us, like, which did you get wrong, or how many did you get right coming out of the first round of the NBA playoff. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, a lot of my picks didn't pan out. I can start in the East. I had New York to finish a close series over Atlanta. That did not matter. No, Atlanta took that series 4-1. Also in the East, I had Miami, a Miami team that I have been big on since the year started. I have them over the Bucks. As you know that series, the Bucks swept through that series, which are the other series in the East. I had Philadelphia to come out over the Wizards, and the other series now is as you know, everybody had the Nets to triumph over Boston. So I got 2 wrong in the East, and I got 2 right. So that's a 50%. Now
Yeah, 50%.
Over the West now, you know, I've always been talking of the Utah Jazz. I have the Utah Jazz to come out of the West. The Utah Jazz triumphed in their series. I had Los Angeles Lakers to come out in a close finish over the Phoenix Suns. And as you know, last night, Phoenix closed out LA. That was 4-2. I also, in the series that is yet to be combined, well, let me go with the series that are already completed. I had the Denver Nuggets beating Portland, as you know, that happened last night. And in the series that is yet to be completed, I am bringing the Clippers. I was bringing the Clippers to prevail over the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks are up 3-2 in that series. I still think the Clippers have somewhat of a chance. I think that tonight the Clippers should prevail and take it to a game 7. And then as we say in our game 7, you know, anything can happen. So I'm still 2 out of 3 in the West with a view that I could either go 50% or I could go 75%. So let's see. A lot rides on the fortunes of the Clippers tonight. So let's see what happens tonight in that series. With the Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks.
So you say you got you got the Jazz and the Suns.
The Jazz and the Nuggets.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, you pick the Lakers.
Unfortunately, I was convinced by you, gentlemen, you and Chris Lynch, the Lakers would be prevailing over the Phoenix Suns. But I think I should know better because there's a very popular and esteemed NFL coach called Bill Parcells. And he has a famous quote that says, "You are what your record say you are." The fact that this Phoenix Suns was second in the West and second overall in the NBA, I should have, and Devin Booker is a player that I have always touted. I should have had a little more faith in the Phoenix Suns. However, at the beginning of the series, subsequent to your last podcast.
Sorry to interject you, but you respect LeBron and AD. That is why you went for the Lakers, man.
Pioneer, sorry to interject you also. AD was out and you picked the Lakers to win. So that means you think the Lakers are good enough. Nobody tricked you.
I picked them to win game 5. Chris Lynch.
And that's without their best player.
Yeah, well, if you want to call the best player, but I was anticipating something special from the King. I thought that Vogel would have gotten it right. I thought that the road players would have stepped up. But that is what under the bridge. Phoenix has proven that they are a real deal. And as I said, they show that their record in the regular season was the fluke.
Just so you know, Pioneer, remember when I was speaking, I told you I rate the Suns more than the Jazz. Just so you can remember that I told you I have the Suns better than the Jazz, and I don't trust the Jazz going.
We'll get that. We'll get to that later. Go ahead.
Can't hear Mannings.
Man. In the East, he got the Heat series wrong, and he got the Knicks series wrong. So he got 2 out of 2 in the East. In the West, he got the Denver right, Denver over Portland, and he got Denver over Portland, and he got Utah Jazz.
Jazz over whoever
Right.
they were gonna face.
Right. And so he lost the Lakers series and he's picking LA. So he's going to be 2-2 in the West because Dallas is going to beat them. But how did your picks go, Chris Lynch?
Obviously, I would have went with Lakers. Obviously, I would have went with Utah opposed to Memphis. But I
No,
did at the time.
Christian, stick up in right here. Let me
Yeah.
remind you, you said Utah wasn't winning any series at all, You also predicted that people like Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley would start having sticky fingers in the playoff. So
At the time, we thought it would be Golden State. At the time, we didn't know Memphis would sneak in.
That is true, Pioneer. At the time, we were predicting Golden State.
We predict that it was going to be either the Lakers or Golden State. And I'm sure Pioneer wouldn't bet against Golden State against the Jazz. So don't let him come here and behave like he would have told the Jazz over Golden State.
I told that even though Golden State was my team and I would have loved them to prevail. Remember, Christian, I had from the very first podcast, which you weren't a part of. And up to the second podcast, and I still have the Jazz as a team to be coming out of the West right now.
Yeah.
You remember that, man?
You're at Denver.
Yeah.
No, man. Jazz. I have the Jazz coming out of the West.
We don't get to that yet, but Chris, hold on, because I want Chris Lynch give us. So you had the Lakers, right?
And once I see it was Memphis, I had to go with Utah.
And then you had Phoenix. I had Phoenix as well.
Don't Phoenix.
No, Lakers, right.
And I had the Clippers. Then I had the Clippers.
Okay.
And I had Denver because of Jam Murray, but Murray injured and they still prevail. That's a shocking one. That's a shocking series.
So it's only one pick you get right over in the West.
Well, two. The Denver versus Portland.
He might jump on the Jazz, right?
No, not John.
No. Well, I got. I mean, in the West, I got I picked the Lakers, so whoever Lakers play against, I got that wrong. I got the Portland because I picked Portland to beat Denver. He understand me, so I got that wrong as well. I picked Utah to win, and I did pick the Clippers to beat Dallas. So I only got one right in the West. And then
pending results at tonight's game.
Pending, because I picked Clippers as well. So pending Clippers.
Pending, well, pending. I think it is over still, unless Danny Luka is probably he hasn't recovered from his injury. But over in the East, I got it miserably wrong as well, because I did pick the Heat to beat the Bucks, and I picked New York to beat Atlanta. And so I'm 2-2 over in the East. How were your picks in the East, Chris Lynch?
I told Pioneer that the Eats overachieved last year. They was just fooling people. They overachieved, and people could say that about the Lakers as well, People like Caldwell Pope probably overachieved, Caruso overachieved. I think that's what reached both these teams, and people got tricked. But I didn't believe in the Eats at all. But yeah, the Bucks, obviously I picked New York. I didn't know Trae Young would have been so vicious in the Gardens. So I picked New York in that series. So that would be the only series I get wrong there, because everyone else was basically Philly to go over Washington and Brooklyn to beat Boston. So I think I get the New York one wrong.
So let me ask both of you first. Let's go ahead, Pioneer. Which one of the series was the most disappointing for you, and why?
Most disappointing was the Miami Heat. Well, I'll have to give a little bit of flack to Miami, but I have to give a whole lot of kudos to the Bucks. The Bucks are proving that they are a very scary team. So much so that I have switched my pick to have them coming out at the East. but that I think of all the series, that was my most disappointing.
Let me just make sure, because I want to record this. You're picking the Bucks to come out of the East. Are you just suggesting something?
No, I'm picking the Bucks to come out of the East. But we'll elaborate on that later. But as it stands, I made mention of that because of the fact that they did such a job on my pick, the Miami Heat. The first game was close, and the next three was like a rout. Miami wasn't in contention, at any point during those 3 games. The Bucks basically did what I call a demolition job on them. So and ironically, I should have been looking more in depth into the Bucks team. But since that series, I've basically taken a kind of broader view of their team, and I've gotten in depth into looking into, the individuals on their team, and trust me, they're a very scary team right now.
That is funny, and then Chris Lynch are going to come to you with the same question. Why you consider the Bucks series the most disappointed, and they were for the most part at full fitness, but you're giving the Lakers such a hard time for losing with injured players?
It's me or Chris Lynch.
That is for you.
Pioneer, you want to beat the Lakers? How that question can be for me?
Let me give it a...
For the Lakers, the Lakers, all right. As I said, most people were a little bit down on the Phoenix Suns. As I said, Devin Booker is a player who I've always had high regards. However, the supporting cast, I kind of overlooked the supporting cast. I knew what Chris Paul brought to the team, his leadership, being a coach general, but I kind of overlooked the supporting cast. And much to my surprise, as I watched him in a couple of games during the regular season, and they were performing somewhat at a level, but I thought that come playoff time, as young players often do, they fade under the bright lights at the big moments. But these youngsters on the Phoenix Suns team has proven that they are ready for this stage, they are ready for this level of competition, and they have performed up to that level. They have brought their quality play, they have brought their swag over into the playoffs, and it was on display throughout the entirety of the Lakers Phoenix series.
Mornings, man, keep going out.
Yeah, man. So what you say, your thing is that the most disappointing series was the Miami Heat's performance. And
Yes.
the Phoenix Suns is a better team than the Lakers. So all I'm asking is that means that we can give the Lakers a pass with all their injuries, because the series is not disappointing, and the Phoenix Suns, according to you, had a very good team.
Play above their
expectation.
what Pioneer would have expected.
And to a pass to the Lakers. This injuries are a part of sports. As I said, I don't have a problem in highlighting or in making a note of the injuries to the Lakers. What I am not gonna accept is that some persons will make this the main narrative of the series, and I think that does a disservice to the Phoenix Suns. Yes, injuries are a part of sports. Throughout the entirety of this playoffs, they have seen injuries. We're seeing Joel Embiid going down. Murray's out. However, Murray's out, but that hasn't given a pass to Denver. Denver has risen to the occasion. So as the players often say, it's supposed to be a next man up mentality. Now we know that AD and LeBron was coming into the postseason, coming off injuries. All right. But LeBron came back, and to me he looked healthy. I saw him in game 4. Alley-oop off the basket, Spider-Man pose coming down, looking quite vibrant and healthy to me. AD, on the other hand, went down. He came back in a couple of games. He looked healthy for some part. Then he was looking a little wobbly, but then he went on the ground injury. But I'm saying, this is a team that has a core that has been playing. You have maybe 5 or 6 players who were a part of the championship run last. Now I am thinking that it has to be a next man up mentality. Now, as I said, I will give a little bit of footnote to the injury to AD. But as I said, injury happened in sports.
I know Pioneer, not cutting you, but remember Caldwell Pope also went down in that pivotal game
3.
Game
right.
not.
He didn't play in game 4. He didn't play in game 4, and he was injured in game 3.
Yeah.
All right. So, Chris Lynch, for example, the Denver Nuggets. Three of their top 6 or 7 players are injured. Will Barton is out. Murray's out. And there's another 6 man that comes off the bench. What's it? 6 man? G-Star?
Dozier.
He's out. So
Dozier.
I'm saying no. Injuries are a part of the NBA. All right. We didn't hear Denver crying that, listen, we are nursing injuries. they have shown resilience amidst the injuries that they have faced, and they have come to a grueling series with a very good against a very good Portland side.
All right,
So
fine. Fine. Hold on, the G-Star.
I will give the Lakers that as an excuse for that to be the main narrative.
Okay. All right, cool, Pioneer. All right, so Chris Lynch, so G-Star, who just come in, welcome G-Star and thing, but I want you to get a feel of the question, or you want to say something to what Pioneer just said, and then we kind of pose the question so you can know what we're discussing. Go ahead, and then we come to you. Yeah, Chris Lynch. So the question is, which one of the series is the most disappointing series for you and why? So just respond to Pioneer, G-Star. Chris Lynch will speak, and then we'll come back to you to answer that question.
All right. So just in response to the Pioneer talking about the narrative and with the injuries, right? You know that Jamal Murray is a yardman and he's a Canadian, right? So we know what he did last year in the bubble. We know that Michael Porter Jr. has ascended his game, right? We know who Aaron Gordon is, but we're still not 100% sure. He's coming on of late in terms of him putting the ball in the basket, right? So Denver is really a big side. So if Denver gets knocked out next round by Dallas, we can say if Jamal Murray.
Sorry, Dallas is not true. No, man, Dallas is not true yet.
Denver
No, I'm saying regardless. I'm saying regardless of who they play, we can understand if Denver gets knocked out next round. We understand it's because Jamal Murray wasn't there. We don't know if guaranteed Jamal Murray would have get them through, but we can say the same thing now with the Lakers. So I think it obviously have to give the Phoenix Suns credit, but if AD wasn't injured, then what? Who was really picking the Suns at the start of the series with a healthy AD and a healthy LeBron? Forget KCP.
Well, based on the series went, G. And I said that this morning on a radio program that when AD went down, the series was 2-1 in favor of the Lakers, and Lakers was actually losing that game 4. When AD went out of the game.
Still early.
AD wasn't having a very good game. He was 2 of 9 from the field. They were down by 8. So that game could have gone even without AD.
Let's look at the facts. Hold on, no. Let's look at the facts. Is AD a top 5 player in the NBA when he's healthy? Yes or no?
Top 5, not for me. Top 10, not top 5.
All right. Is he top 7?
Maybe 8 or 9.
All right, fine. Let's just say he's a top 10 player. Superstar. A healthy superstar will make a big difference on a team. So the fact that he's compromised, that's it.
All right, so G-Star, Chris, hold on, Pioneer. Pioneer, hold on. Pioneer, just hold on, because I want to keep it. I'm going to come back to you, but I want Chris Lynch to respond to the question before we come back, because I want to give every person ample time to analyze the series so far. Chris Lynch, so you answer the question. G-Star going to come back to you, and then we can have the little. Yeah, man. So Chris Lynch, which one of the series to you was the most disappointing of the eight series that were played across the East and the West, and why?
The New York Atlanta series. I don't see why Trae Young should show up and Julius Randle didn't. He was the big letdown in that series. Obviously, he was bringing the Knicks all throughout the season, 6th man of the year, and he didn't look himself. Shots that he normally knocked down, even at the back end of the season, everyone would have expected that Julius Randle would have played more efficient, and he didn't play efficient. And I think that's the big letdown. Everyone looked more spirited than Randle. He didn't want this ball in the playoffs. So I think that series really didn't live up. Should have probably went to 7 games. At least 6, but Julius Randle would have let down the Knicks fans.
Okay, all right. So G-Star, which one of the series, in your opinion, was the most disappointing and why?
All right, that's a good question. I can go with the Miami Milwaukee Miami was the Eastern Conference champions, right? They have two All-Stars. When Bam didn't make the All-Star game this year, but Bam is an All-Star. He's put up All-Star numbers in the regular season. You have Jimmy Butler, right? We know Duncan Robinson, shooter, Tyler Hero. We know what he did in the bubble, right? They still have Iggy there. I never did like Ariza for them, right? But in any case, they're going up against Milwaukee, a side that they took out the year before and kind of embarrassed Milwaukee. So that should be a nice series. Now, the first game was close, and after that, it was lights out. So for me, the fact that they got knocked out every single game, it wasn't even competitive. And they're talking about Kyle Lowry today. No, if you're not really going to give Tyler Hero that shine, why didn't you just get Kyle Lowry? He was the one that didn't want to give up. Just like
the trade deadline was up, they were contemplating and they decided against it.
Yeah, because they didn't want to give up Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
But I'm saying they didn't really give Tyler Hero the bus this year. And then what was
he got limited minutes in the series, yeah?
Probably the most disappointing thing for me now, Manning's man, is that maybe I was drinking the Kool-Aid because everybody is saying that Eric Spoelstra, he's such a great coach. He's such a big-time coach. And even last year, I said, boy, they execute well. I must still give them the execution part of it still, right? They just didn't have enough talent. But what I saw from Bam Adebayo is unbelievable because Bam Adebayo has a good jump shot. He has a Chris Webber-like jump shot at the elbow, right? So the offense, they're running like a Princeton offense, like a back in the day Sacramento where they use the big man at the post, right? Like Chris Webber, right? So I'm saying when Bam Adebayo gets that ball, he has to be a threat to shoot. And just like I talk about with Draymond Green, if you're Eric Spoelstra, we see that same offense.
G-Star, don't bring up Draymond Green because if we do that, we're not going in tonight. All right?
Yeah, yeah, but I'm just saying it's the same aspect of not shooting. And to me, that's an easy fix. Bam should have been having 25, 30. If one my boy name, Lopez, if Lopez gives him that shot, Bam has got to take that shot because he's wide open and the offense is being run through him. So if he's not a threat, the offense is going to struggle. And I'm saying I can see that all the way from here. You understand? Eric Spoelstra, you look at the game tapes, Eric Spoelstra was a film technician. Like, he was that person. So it's easy to see. So that was the most disappointing. That Bam,
I have a question for you. How much of that series do you put to a failure on Miami's part, and how much do you put to the Bucks being a very, 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 very good team?
I won't go into the percentages, but what I can say is that I understand that Milwaukee is very hungry, right? What I'm saying is that the games outside of game one, the games were competitive. I'm saying Miami is better than that. And Jimmy Butler, I don't mind what Jimmy Butler did. Jimmy Butler probably shot about 6 of 25. But you know what? Jimmy Butler pulled a trigger. Bam didn't pull a trigger. When you're all-star, you have to pull a trigger.
All right.
Okay. But I mean, I agree with Pioneer though, G-Star, but a lot of it, I think the Bucks because the Bucks lost so many games this season in comparison to the other 2 seasons, they were almost under the radar. In other words, the expectations were way less coming to the playoffs, especially because they were playing. Especially, hold on, we have to go. Especially because they were especially I think because they were going up against the Miami Heat, who beat them in the bubble last year. Right. So I think like the expectations were anybody could win this series. And I think that has helped the Bucks. I think the Bucks play better when the pressure is not on them. And I think the addition of Jrue Holiday has made a significant difference
Big,
to
big, big,
how
big, big.
the team play. And I realize Giannis is different this year than last year. He's taking
Yeah, man.
more shots at the elbow. He still gets his dunks and stuff, but his
Move from
game
three.
seemed to be a little bit more refined than it was last year.
Yeah, it does. I
But,
agree with that.
yeah, but for me, still, I think the New York Knicks series, and I agree with Chris Lynch, because here's what I can't. The Knicks don't. We have a bona fide all-star, but if Derrick Rose, who you traded for in February, is your best player at his age with all his injuries, that's not good. I don't think the Atlanta Hawks are this far ahead of the Knicks. And so I am disappointed because of that.
Yeah.
But maybe this is a good thing because I think if this did not happen, the Knicks
Yeah.
would have probably spent a whole lot of money on signing Julius Randle to a big contract. So I think this show.
I think you're looking at this the wrong way, man.
Well, really?
Yeah, here's why. You see, when you watch the playoffs or watch NBA, even Luca lost last year. This is Julius Randle's first time in the playoffs, right? I believe so. So he's never lost in the playoffs before. So he's never faced
He didn't
that
go.
double.
He didn't go to the playoffs with Kobe
I'm
in his
not
first
sure.
season. His first season.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But G-Star, to address what you
You
just
have
said.
to go through the
It's not
fire,
just
is what
about
I'm
losing.
saying.
But
Go
it's
through the
not-
fire.
Hold on.
Hold on. Give me-
Hold on.
Go ahead. No, let
Go
me
ahead.
address what G-Star.
Okay.
All right. It's not just about losing in the playoffs, no, G-Star. Because you could say
Yeah.
Luca lost in the playoff last year, but Luca
But
was
he
a beast
played
in the playoff
brilliant.
last year.
Yeah.
He was brilliant against the Clippers in
Yeah.
almost all 6 games that they played. But Julius Randle is coming off a very good regular season,
Was
winning
awful in every game.
winning most improved player. It was awful in the playoffs. In all 5 games
Yeah.
that they had. He had maybe one average game and four to very poor games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris Lynch. What you're going to say something?
Yeah, that's exactly the point that that's why I'm so disappointed in the New York Knicks series. Randall didn't turn up. That's the point, G Star. It's not that New York lose. New York could lost the series, but Randall should have
Okay,
leave
no,
it
man.
out there.
Yeah, man, I overstand that point, But what I'm also saying, the glass half full now. If you have Julius Randle as a foundational piece,
No, G-Star, he can't. He just showed that he can't be the foundation. He's a third piece, not a foundation.
a third piece is a
Yeah,
foundational piece.
no, man, he can't be a second. Listen, he cannot be the second option, and he
Yeah.
cannot be the first option.
But that's fine. But you still want your third player to go through the fire, is what I'm saying. That's
True.
all I'm saying.
What do you think, Chris Lynch? You think Julius Randle is a bona fide second, like a Robin to a Batman, or is he really a third?
He's not.
Okay.
No, stop. You
Chris
can
Lynch,
just stop. He's not.
Yeah.
He probably
come on,
needs
Chris.
he probably needs someone he respect. Probably someone who can take up the team and say, this team is my team, and he probably follow behind them, Because what happened is players will get momentum off that. Like you see AD behind LeBron last year, that's basically it. Feel like nobody can beat him, and he turns up and play well. Surprise Pioneer, surprise G-Star. And probably that's what Julius Randle need. Just somebody he sees better than him.
Yeah.
For me, Julius Randle, all right, if he's gonna be a Robin to a Batman, that is a playoff team. That is middle of the road playoff team. But on a championship contender, I see him as a third option.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All I'm saying is he's gotten experience, and they can't.
For me, I think he's one dimensional. He keeps going to his left. It's like he has this predictable play, and a lot will depend on what he does in the half season. Basketball players' game has to be constantly evolving. Now, if he goes into the half season and change it up that style. It has to be going to the left. It's always predictable. You saw the Atlanta defenders doing it to him. They know that him get it. He's gonna go to the left, so them guard him on that left hand. He hardly goes to the right, and when he does, he's ineffective. So if he goes in the half season, work on that, expands his game a bit, then he can come back next year with a better player. In fairness to him, from what we saw when he was in LA to this point in his career, he has done some work on his game. He has expanded his game. So let's see how much further he can take.
Yeah. Chris Lynch, I have a good question. We're going to look ahead to what's coming up, but I have a good question. Let me start with you first, then G-Star. Then is Jimmy Butler an all-star player who can lead a franchise?
No, cannot be a first option at this stage. Of how the NBA is going, obviously cannot be a first option. He's somewhat like a Russell Westbrook. Their effort is not lacking on the court. But I don't think they're a first option.
Talent and skill is
they give a lot of effort, and you need that in teams. And he has a leadership quality, but that doesn't make him a first option because you still have to be able to produce. And he probably doesn't produce as often as he should.
Okay.
Too inconsistent.
You agree, Pioneer? What are you saying?
100% to what Chris Lynch said. He's a player who plays with a lot of heart. He's a player who plays with a lot of guts. He leaves his all on the court most nights. But then in terms of talent and skill, he's somewhat limited. And what Christine said at the beginning of his statement is right. We have seen a lot of diverse young players coming with skill.
Yeah.
I can name out maybe 8 to 10 young players
I told you guys about Ja Morant, when I was there with the point guards, you remember? And you guys had him,
remember that we had forgotten to mention him. We mentioned him very late in the conversation.
All right.
And we see people, Donovan Mitchell, who I spoke to you gentlemen about, I had in my top 5, G-Star left him out, and I told her that for me, Donovan Mitchell is a bona fide star, and I think this year is where we will take the step to being a bona fide superstar. That is why I have the Jazz coming out at the West. We have people like Doncic, of course. Joker is showing what he can do in Denver. We have even some of the youngsters who didn't even make the playoffs.
You don't call Damian Lillard, my friend.
No, but I don't have Lillard as a young player. I have a couple players who I call.
Okay.
I would go into
Lillard is not up and coming.
But a Steph and a Kyrie and a James Harden and a KD.
Those are all of those who you name right now. Where does Damian Lillard fall?
After Steph and the Kyrie and the
right now.
Why? You see, amongst all of those players, it's close. All right, it's kind of unfair for Judge Lillard currently because he's showing that he can produce, but then he's on a team that he's not getting a lot of support from. All right, I think I was saying to somebody earlier today that I think Portland has just been at the same level from Portland being beaten by Golden State in 2016. I think they are basically plateaued. They have basically the same core. Nurkic was injured for a couple of those series, but between Nurkic, CJ, DM, and even a couple of the other pieces that have been there for a while, I think they are plateaued. They're not going up. They will make it to the first round of the playoffs. They made it to the conference final that year, and they got knocked out. But I think they are plateaued. I think DM either needs to leave Portland, or they need to break that up and bring in somebody else to partner with DM to see how much he can maximize his skills and his talent. DM is proving that he's one of the most clutch players in the NBA.
Yes.
And
go ahead, Chris Lynch, and then I'll come to Pie.
And give him his props. He's the most clutch player in the NBA.
Without a doubt.
Okay. All right. Let me hear Chris Lynch.
Give me 30 seconds. In game 5 the other night when he dropped 55, it's almost like, he had 17 of the last 19 points. They scored 19 points in overtime and double overtime. And he scored 17 of the last 19. The rest of the team was 1 from 14. He was begging for help. And it wasn't coming. And you talk about people like CJ, you talk about people like Carmelo Anthony. Nurkic, Norman Powell, players of repute in the league. These are not rookies. These are not scrubs. These are players who you feel like should be able to offer him the help when need to take the series and take his status to a next level. But it's not coming. So I think Dame's time in at Portland has expired, or Portland have to do something drastic to get him the help that he needs.
Chris Lynch, what you think? And then tell me what should happen to Portland, and then we'll come to G-Star. Should they just burn, like, just start
when
over?
You look at teams like Phoenix making moves to get better, and Denver, it shows you that Portland is not serious. Look at what Phoenix did, taking in Chris Paul, and look at Denver getting Aaron Gordon on their roster. Portland is not serious, and DM probably need to come and act like James Harden and look at one of the LA teams. Probably he would be welcome with LeBron.
You put up that picture with Dame Lillard and AD and LeBron. You're the man.
No, but if he's smart, I would look that route.
Go ahead, Chris Lynch.
Yeah, but I would look that route. He should probably look at James Harden, look that there's a big three over the Nets, and no one will pressure him because he have always been an advocate of being loyal, and he's loyal. So he should look to LA and just make it be that.
I think Portland qualifies as loyalty to
me. Yeah, man. G-Star, what are your thoughts? What should you believe, what you should think? Portland should do, Dame Lillard should he go to LA as Chris Lynch is advocated for to get LeBron one more title before he retire, or should he come to a New York, or should he stay in Portland?
Well, definitely not LA.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe the Clippers, but definitely not the Lakers.
we are not to see him. Oh, hold on. Go ahead, G.
Me personally, it's a wish list, you know. You know where Dame's from, Mannings, man?
Where he's from?
Yeah.
Miami?
Oakland. He's from Oakland. Yeah.
Oh, you want to go Golden State now, man?
Golden State. Him and Steph. Steph together.
And move clear to the tree.
Yeah. With Draymond.
No, that's it. That's
then you
over.
Get somebody else. It don't matter who you get. You get Dwight Howard.
Wiseman.
Right? Yeah, man. That way.
That's over. So the league done right. The league will be finished. Yeah. That's
basically about three man who can pull up from the parking lot, man.
Have that love for each other, you know. You know, man.
Shooters in the league by one team. The league done, right?
Management, we come here and discuss nothing about Draymond Green. He will be like the greatest player.
You know what is funny? I think Kawhi. You know what I think? Kawhi, hold on, and then I got just quickly. You know, I think Kawhi would go and play with Dame in Portland.
He would love a Dame.
Well, they were talking about that in the rumor still, today.
Yeah, I think Kawhi would go to Portland.
You know where I would like to see Dame Lillard, and I could almost guarantee that he would get a championship if he goes to Boston and joins Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. That side would be unstoppable. I have to know who is the coach first. Who is the coach? Who is the coach? Because Brad Stevens has gone to VP. Brad Stevens has moved up in the organization. He's now the VP. The president of basketball. Yeah, president of basketball. He's running basketball. President of basketball operation. But I mean, there are many coaches out there, but I can't see any coach who is worth his start coaching a team that has Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, and Jalen Brown. They can fill out the other roster spot as you just said, G-Star. That would be an unstoppable team in the league. I dare to say that team would give even this Nets team as presently constructed, that give them a run for the money.
G-Star, what are your thoughts? I think Portland could use a rebuild. Right? To tell you the truth, when it comes to rebuilding, it's better to start earlier than later. You know what I mean? So it's like even CJ, they probably have to trade out CJ and just start over, like how Philly did, and just trust the process. Because for me, to be that 8th seed or that 7th seed and you get knocked out the first round year after year after year. You see, in the NBA, you can just turn that into a cycle. You're always you're a middling team, right? You're not bad enough to get a top draft pick, and you're not good enough to be a contender. So the strategy in the NBA, if you're not gonna get a top free agent, which it looking like Portland is not, because somehow Portland is always over the cap, the salary cap, right? So for me, I think
Yeah, man. You soon come up.
yeah. So for me, I think that Portland need to start over, and then plus give them that opportunity to go and get a championship, because he has been a loyal soldier. He has helped revitalize Portland. I'm talking about the squad and the city, right? So remember, because it was supposed to be LaMarcus Aldridge, it was supposed to be the Brandon Roy era with Greg Oden. So Damian Lillard carried the franchise, right? And then now for Portland, you can get a big haul for Damian Lillard. You can get draft picks up to probably 20, 30. So if you want to send them to New York, send them to New York. If you want to send them to Boston, send them to Boston, right?
Yeah.
And you can get a big haul for them and just start over.
All right, I have a question for you guys before we get. Hopefully, Chris Lynch can come back, and then we can get into the series coming up, who we're picking and stuff. I'm going to list 4 players, and how would you rank them in terms of from 1 to 4, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So I have Jaylen Brown, Devin Booker, Jay Morant, and Donovan Mitchell.
Go again. Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
You sure you want to say Jaylen Brown? I want to say Jason Tatum.
No, sorry, Jason Tatum. Sorry, Jason Tatum, Booker, Mitchell, and Ja Morant.
All right, I would say, all right, yes, let me start. I would have Ja Morant at the bottom of that scale. All right, so you do 4.
Sorry, let me give you a 5. And Luka.
No, man, Luka's number 1. Take Luka out there, man.
Luka's number 1. We need the top of the thing and the bottom of the thing. So Luka will be at the top, and Ja Morant will be at the bottom. So we'll fill out the 2, 3, 4 now. Second on that, all right. Just for the fact that I've seen him doing it in the playoffs before on previous occasions, I have to put Donovan Mitchell at number 2 on the list. Only because I've seen him doing it. Oh, he has done it in the playoffs maybe the last 3 years, and he has done it with a level of consistency. Now, I must say to you, I rate Booker highly, but this is Booker's first playoff. He has been doing it in the regular season, but for me, this is where it matters. All right. So, as I said, it'll be Luka first, Mitchell second, third, would have to give it to Jason Tatum. Tatum has been a good performer in the player. Not to the level of Donovan Mitchell, but he has been there or thereabout. There have been a few series where I'm underperformed, in my estimation. But he has been, there or thereabout, as we say. Oh, I am putting Booker at 4th on that list. With a view, say, if him continue in the vein that he played this last series, he might shot up to 3rd or 2nd for me. I am only putting him at 4th because this is the first time I'm seeing him in the playoffs. He was really good, but the others who may have in front of him have shown that they have done it for more than one.
All right, and then number 5 is Ja Morant. All right. So G-Star, I'm going to let you answer. Chris Lynch, your question is, how would you rank these 5 players? Luka, Booker, Jaylen, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, and Ja Morant. So Pioneer, Luka at number 1, Mitchell at number 2, Tatum at 3, Booker at 4, and Mitchell at 5. G-Star, and then we'll come to Chris Lynch. Make him think about it a little bit, if you need to.
All right. But the same thing. Ja Morant at 5. I forgot with Luka is the obvious one, right? And then now I can go with Jason Tatum, because somebody correct me today. I call Jason
No, but
Booker, Brown
don't take
Mamba.
that correction, Regista. I heard it, you know, but
Well,
don't take that correction.
Yeah,
no,
but it's
well,
when the man said Jason Tatum, when the
No,
man
the
said
fact
Jason
that
Tatum is Brown Mamba,
no, but
I
the fact
kind of
that
African, yeah. Him have a
Regista,
point.
the fact that Booker has been inspired by Kobe. Booker is
So
almost
was
like
Jason
Kobe
Tatum. No, so
protege.
was Jason Tatum.
Not on the level
Jason
of Booker.
Tatum is also a protege of Kobe.
Kobe basically a nine to Booker.
Pioneer. The man say man take him correction, brother. Lord, the man finish him.
Leave the
You
man Pioneer, man.
Yo,
No, but
Yeah, but hey,
we're not all over the correction. I mentioned the reference to Brown Mamba. I mentioned in that group last night when G started. So I think and he took it to the ear today. And then so I am appointing. Since me and the man come up with the phrase, the title,
yeah,
I can't put
yeah.
a title on the man and then allow somebody else to change it and take it off. I
No,
think
it don't. No, hold on, no, hold on, no. It
all right,
don't
so
mean
let's
that.
work it out. So let's work
It
it out.
don't mean that.
He's
It
a
don't
brown and
mean that
mamba.
Devin Booker is not the Brown Mamba in a Pioneer.
One is a brown
Okay.
mamba, one is a brown and mamba.
No, it's just that Jason Tatum, to me, Jason Tatum sicker. That's why. That is why I'm
So
going with Jason Tatum.
we have seen more of him in the play.
So who you have
Yeah.
who you have a two?
So Jason Tatum is at
Tatum.
2.
Okay.
And then now, let me tell you something. Donovan Mitchell, it's not like Donovan Mitchell doesn't deserve to be at 3. He does. He really does, because him do everything that you want. He's aggressive. He's a leader. He will pass the rock. You know, man say he'll dunk on you, right? And then he'll play defense.
Here you go.
But I still have to go with Devin Booker, because Devin Booker shot. I don't even know what the percentages are. I think probably shoot even a better percentage from 3. But we know that Devin Booker is a better shooter.
He's the person from three last night.
Devin Booker's one-on-one offense, I just rated. So I can go with Devin Booker.
And Mitchell
at
at
3,
4.
Mitchell at 4, and Jad 5.
All right, so see you see the difference now. So let's go to Pioneer. Pioneer of Luca 1, Mitchell 2, Tatum 3,
Booker 4.
Booker 4, and
Yeah,
Jamorant 5. All right, G Star have Luca 1, Tatum 2, Booker 3, Mitchell 4, and Jamorant 5. Ja 5. Chris, oh your list here. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, Jamorant 5, obviously. Donovan Mitchell 4. Because Devin Booker showed me something in the last 2 games.
I twin beat the Lakers, that's why I know.
No. In the last 2 games, Devin Booker showed up. He knew that Anthony Davis was out, and he knew that this is his opportunity. And this guy seemed like he couldn't miss from 3-point range. And he's 34% in the regular season. So he showed that's when Pioneer say that the term, that's the Mamba mentality. So I can see why Pioneer say that, because he would have seen those last 2 games. And I think that's why Pioneer come up with that phrase. But yeah, so that's the reason why I have to have Devin in front of Mitchell. Because I rate Mitchell highly, but because he doesn't shoot the 3 so good, and they were bribing him from 3-point range, especially in that last game, and he continues to knock it down, you have to give him credit for that.
Booker.
Yeah. So
And
Booker at 3. So Booker at 3.
And Tatum at 2.
I have Luka at 2.
Yeah.
I have Luka at 2. Jason Tatum showed me something also again. He bring LeBron James to 7 games in a series. Basically with that young team in that Eastern Conference final.
With a whole lot of help.
Right, but that's a pay bill. Oh, man. Yo, you know, man. Chris Lynch know that's a pay bill.
No,
you know
so Jason Tatum for me is number 1. I like Luka highly, but I think Tatum is going to become the face of the NBA over Luka. That's what I think personally.
You know what I think? Here's why I agree with Chris Lynch. I don't think Luka plays defense good enough. That's the problem I have with him.
And that's the reason, man, why I go with Tatum, because I think he leaves it on both ends of the floor. And he still turns up with points. You cannot be scoring 50 and defense, and then you're not going to become
in defense and Luka and his defense. his defense has evolved somewhat this year. I'm not
No,
going to
he's
tell that
not
he's
a bad defender. He's not
this
not as
year.
bad as he
He's
was.
better
And
this year now. But
huh?
Jason Tatum, listen, Jason
He
Tatum
can take. He can score 50 and mark Kevin Durant.
and Kevin
That's
Durant.
something.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you can
yeah, yeah,
score
yeah,
50 on
yeah.
one end
Yeah.
and still
But,
be
but,
Yeah.
but,
the
but
marker for
the
Kevin
thing, the
Durant,
thing,
that is
the thing,
something
And
all right,
about
score
it.
on Kevin
in
Durant
order to
pretty easy.
when it comes to controlling an entire game, though, because this is when we have a rate Luka. Luka is a man who, and then he showed it in the last year in the playoffs against the Clippers, and he's showing it even more so this year. He has the ability to basically take over the game and control every aspect of the game.
Yeah, that's a big
I
difference.
don't know if you gentlemen are aware of this. In game, what was it, game 5, he was responsible for, he either scored or assisted on 87% of Dallas Mavericks field goals. They scored 37 field goals, and he either scored or assisted on 31 of the 37. That says floor general, that man who is totally in control of a game. I don't think Tatum is a shot maker, but in terms of that aspect of the game, I think that's what I give Luka more credit than everybody.
I wouldn't argue with somebody who said that man is man, but me personally think that the upside for me and Tatum, I'm going with him.
There you go. So that is where you and I agree with that because I like that. But now let's move ahead, right? The second round begins. We are
point
yeah.
action in the point action.
Yeah,
Tell me
just
that about
no, him not
so,
in the, yeah, I just saw a message. I just saw a message from him. So
all right, cool.
yeah. Yeah, man. Right. So I just sent him an invite. Yeah. So this is the second round. I don't even know Star because the Knicks out, the Lakers out. I don't want Brooklyn to win. So I don't. I mean, I just. You guys just talk and I listen because I have no desire again for now. I mean, I have no desire because
Let me start.
there's nobody like the Knicks out, like disappointed, like. Brooklyn, I mean, what Philadelphia, I think there is injured. Embiid, who gonna stop them? Who in the West gonna stop? All right,
Milwaukee can stop them.
let me go with Chris Lynch. Pioneer, I know you have a lot to say, but I want to get Chris Lynch first in terms of his picks and his analysis for the games that are, the pairings in the East and in the West, and then we go to G Star and then Pioneer. I will throw it over to you because I know you will come up with some things where we have to ask if that makes sense. So, Chris Lynch.
Yeah, in terms of the second round for the East,
yeah.
Brooklyn play the Bucks. Brooklyn and the Bucks. This one is tight, but I have to take the Nets. I just can't go against KD and Kyrie. I see what they do in playoff games, and I would be really really sad to go against two men who have been an assassin in the playoffs, brother. Kyrie is an assassin. James Harden can be an assassin, and and to have Kyrie and KD beside you, it's really sad. I have to go with the Nets, but I would hope that Giannis can turn up, and that is why I can't pick the Bucks. I don't know if Giannis can face KD. I don't know. I really don't know. The East was an easier battle for the Bucks. I'm not using that to judge them. I'm really not using that to judge them. So I'll go with the Bucks there. And for the second round matchup, in the East, who is it? Philly and who came out of the East? Hawks. If Joel Embiid is not going to be healthy, I expect this one to play out like how the Phoenix Suns and the Lakers one play out. This Trae Young guy is showing that he's ready and he's not afraid of anything. So if Joel Embiid is going to miss games, I'm taking the Hawks over the 76ers because Ben Simmons cannot do it by himself. And that's so if Simmons miss 2 games, I have the Hawks to win. If Simmons miss 2 games or 2 games too much, the Hawks is going to steal that one.
If Embiid, you mean Embiid, not Simmons, Embiid.
Yeah, if Embiid miss 2 games, that's too much game, and the Hawks is going to steal it. And in the West, like it don't play out yet. I I am picking Dallas to come out of the West tonight. Tonight is the game, right? So I'm picking them to come out. And I'm taking the Phoenix Suns all the way to the final. I'm taking the Phoenix Suns all the way. I think Suns show that they can still fight without Chris Paul. He's a worry. As to how I pick series because he always get injured, just like Embiid, just like Anthony Davis. Chris Paul is just one of those players. His eyelash can turn up broken tomorrow. So I don't know about the Suns is going all the way.
Yeah, right. So the Suns, you pick the Suns. Suns to go all the way.
Yeah.
And then you're picking Utah to beat Dallas.
No, I'm taking Dallas. I'm taking Dallas in that series. I'm taking Dallas against I'm taking Dallas against Utah. Yeah.
And then you're picking the Suns to beat Dallas in the final. So your final is Dallas versus Nets. No, versus the Suns. And the Suns gonna beat Dallas. And then the Suns
you're picking this.
Right. All right, cool. Cool. All right. G Star.
All right. Hawks versus Sixers. I'm gonna go with the Hawks. Why? I'm not a Doc Rivers. Let me tell you something. Ben Simmons. No, let's bring it to Ben Simmons.
What did you just say? You're going with the Hawks because of Doc Rivers?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Because I don't believe in Doc Rivers.
That motivates another coach.
Yeah, I don't believe in Doc Rivers because here's why I don't believe in Doc Rivers. You see, any great coach or good coach, you're going to go to Ben Simmons and say, Ben Simmons, I don't care if you make, I don't care if you miss. In a regular season, you're going to take 5 threes a game. And if you don't take 5 threes, you're going to be on the bench. I don't care who your name is. Or I am going to get fired. One of those two things are going to happen.
Man,
right?
eating food for the people in life.
Yeah, dinner time going in the final.
Yeah.
Brethren, this is social media. We have to put show in the show. What I'm doing the great things. So if you know what I'm doing and do me, I don't take me off on the show. Because I don't control me.
Yeah, I don't you know, I have to
so load the show. Make the fans we watch complain about it and stop complaining, man. Load the show. Stop put me in the back room, brethren. A front room, me the mannings, man. Greetings. My general from Upper Grand Spain. Greetings, Chris Lynch, my son. Greetings, Pioneer. Greetings to the big man himself. On the door, come in, but don't mute the mic and don't put me in the back room, brother.
The one and one, the final.
All right, continue, G Star.
Yeah. So the thing with Ben Simmons now is that when he goes into the playoffs, and I've watched him in a couple games, and I'm not seeing nothing from Ben Simmons where he looks like a real third option offensively, right? So if you take away Joel Embiid, I picked them even with Joel Embiid, right? As the upset. It will be an upset, but without Joel Embiid, it won't be an upset because it's going to be the same old 76ers because Ben Simmons is the same old Ben Simmons. Tobias Harris is nice, but Tobias Harris cannot do all the scoring. We'll see what Seth Curry can do. But anyway, I can go with the Hawks because nobody can really stop Trae Young in a pick and roll. Honestly, he's close to unstoppable in a pick and roll, right?
I don't think Dwight Howard replacing Embiid is going to make any difference.
No.
Okay.
Trae Young too shifty for Dwight Howard. He'll actually make Dwight Howard fall. So bring it back down to the Nets and the Bucks. That's the series that I'm most interested in. I think that's a series that everybody should be most interested in because for me, these are the best two teams in the NBA, right? You have Giannis, back-to-back MVP. Chris Lynch asked the question if he believes Giannis will turn up or he's unsure Giannis will turn up. Giannis, to me, you can put it down. Giannis is going to turn up, right? You can put down the numbers, 30, 12, 5, 2 blocks, 1 steal. You can put that down. The question for Giannis now is that when it comes down to crunch time, and if there's some games close, is Giannis going to take the shot down by 1 with 50 seconds left and there's 15 seconds on the shot clock? Giannis, you're the man. Or are you going to give the ball to Chris Middleton? That is a legitimate question down the line. We'll have to see how it play out, right? But the rest of them, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, those are 2 excellent two-way players. And you see those two-way players, for me, they're going to give the Brooklyn Nets a little bit of trouble defensively, right? And then there's also PJ Tucker from Houston days, Rockets. PJ Tucker.
Don't forget Bobby Portis.
No, man, Bobby Portis is a non-factor. PJ
you,
Tucker.
man.
No, just like Weston Matthews. Man, tell you.
Soon come to you.
And then when Bobby Portis is in the game.
Well, and soon come to you. Soon come to you, yeah, man. Soon come to you, Piney. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
please, sir.
so, but all of that being said, Kyrie, KD, James Harden, and then you have the shooter and Joe Harris, Blake Griffin, a rejuvenated Blake Griffin, right? Let me give you the X factor for that series. One named Steve Nash has some Pep Guardiola in him, right? For some reason, he wants to play a baller by the name of Bruce Brown as a big, right? So he's the X factor. He shouldn't really be in there, you know. I don't say he shouldn't get minutes, but he really shouldn't be in there. Let's go back to the West now. That's gonna pick the game this series in terms of the Dallas, LA. So Dallas up 3-2. They can't stop Luka. Kawhi Leonard and Kawhi Leonard still hasn't taken the onus on him to say, no matter what happens, I am guarding Luka. I don't care. Switch, don't switch. Trap, don't trap. I am guarding Luka. I haven't seen Kawhi Leonard do that. And last game, I think Luka scored something like 42 points and 15 assists. No. If you're going to play against Luka Doncic, who is a big-time floor general, right? Who can score one-on-one with the best of them, you have to decide, pick your poison. You can't stop him from doing both things. So you can't make him score 40 plus give him 15 assists. Take away one thing from him. And if it was my opinion, just make Luka a scorer all day for the whole game. Don't make him a passer. But I feel so the Clippers game, bring it out. This game and the next, Kawhi, I think Kawhi game shows something, right? And then now bring it back down to the.
They have Clippers in 7.
Yeah, I have Clippers in 7. Easily the Clippers could disappoint, you know. Quite easily.
How do you see Clippers Jazz going?
Clippers Jazz. I would say Clippers.
Okay,
and then
so
Clippers Phoenix. And then Clippers Phoenix. I think Phoenix can beat Denver. So it'll be Clippers Phoenix.
And then you're picking the Clippers.
Yeah, and then whoever goes from the east can mop up anybody who goes in the west, who's from the west.
All right. Chris,
so G-Star dying with the Clippers again. No problem. Go ahead, Pioneer.
All right, so Piney, we're gonna come to you, right? So what we're doing, we're talking about the matchups and who is going to come out and things. So you can put together your thoughts and then I'll go. Let Pioneer go and then we'll come to you. Pioneer.
Before you go,
hold on, go ahead.
Before you go, I want to ask G-Star a question.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Yeah, G-Star.
Yeah, go on.
Last year, Milwaukee Bucks team, their record and everything showed that they have a better record last year. Why you think they are better this year with this record?
The reason why I think Pioneer and Chris Lynch said a little bit already. Drew Holiday was traded for Eric Bledsoe. Drew Holiday is a better shooter, a better defender, and he has more basketball IQ. Right? So he's a big difference. And then one more thing. I'm watching Giannis, and Giannis is doing, I'm not saying he's doing Kobe, but he's doing some Kobe-like moves in terms of like fadeaway jump shots at the free throw line and everything. He wasn't taking those type of shots before. So he has expanded his game.
So you are saying Giannis improved and the team improved from last year to this year?
Yeah, Giannis improved and the trade for Drew Holiday.
So why is the record this year is backward from last year record? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because it's more competitive. Fine.
Not only that,
Yeah,
I think the focus this year is mostly on the player.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go. There you go.
Focus on the player. So I'm gonna give my picks and break it. All right. I'm gonna start in the East. All right. All right. So I'm gonna start with the Philly Atlanta series. My pick is predicated on Joel Embiid's health. All right. If Joel Embiid is healthy, I'm going with Philly in 6. There's an interesting, I wouldn't call it a matchup, but it's a series of players that I look forward to. Ben Simmons likes to drive to the basket, and Clint Capella is a man who likes to block shot. He play around the rim. I'm almost salivating to see how that I got turn out. All right, but I'm praying for them. Say Embiid has a slightly split meniscus in the knee. All of the everybody in a medical fraternity said this is an injury that is not easy to get over. It's not a short-term injury, but let's hope for the best. And if Embiid is not fit, I'm going with Atlanta in 6 or 7. Embiid fit, I'm going with Philly in 5 or 6. All right, to the other series in the East, which is the big series in the East, which is a series that everybody, and maybe I should leave that one for last. Maybe I should go into the West first. So let me leave that big series. Like I've never lot to say about that series. So let me go into the West. All right, I am expecting, like G-Star, I'm expecting the Clippers to pull it out. The Clippers are going to pull it out to me. But whoever, when the Clippers pull it out or Dallas come through, I'm expecting Utah to beat everybody. I have Utah winning the West. So whoever come out from the other game, whether Dallas or Clippers come out, Utah going to beat them. And whoever win Denver versus Phoenix, I expect Utah to beat. But when we look on Denver versus Phoenix, now, if I'm interested in both of you gentlemen before me take Phoenix, Denver has shown me something that has convinced me that these guys are the real. Twice last year they came back from 3-1. They were 3-1 down against the Jazz. They came back. They were 3-1 down against the Clippers. This show me character and resilience about this team. One, let me tell you something. They never panic when they fall behind. And secondly, even when they are ahead, and they show this in the Portland series, and even when they are ahead and another team make a run, they keep their composure. Look at those two big buzzer beaters by Dame Lillard, leading into overtime and into double overtime. Normally, when a team makes when a team has a big shot like that, the momentum is normally with the team who ties up the game or takes the game into overtime. You saw on both of those occasions, Denver took the initiative and they basically went up in the overtime. And when it went to double overtime, they went up. That says to me this is a composed team. All right. Jamal Murray is missing. But I think with Jamal Murray's absent, they have gotten something. They got Austin Rivers, who for me is a player with a chip on his shoulder. He was out of the league for a long time. I guess because I'm in affiliation with Doc Rivers as a coach, and there was a bad blood situation from the Clippers days. Somehow nobody wanted him, and I couldn't understand why. Because this is a youth who can.
He was traded from New York.
But nobody wanted him. He was out of a contract up until recently, until Denver signed him. All right. Now this youth has shown now. He has hit some big shots for Denver. And what he brings is tenacity and defense. Monte Morris is proving that he's a closer. He did it in game 5. He did it again last night in game 6. He has been doing it throughout the series. Now, I'm not saying that these gentlemen can replace Jamal Murray. But what they have shown, what they have brought to this Denver team, I have Denver beating Phoenix in 6. And as I said, I'm expecting Denver to meet Utah in the conference final. But Utah basically having that bad taste in the mouth from last year, from losing 3-1 to Denver, they're not going to make the same mistake again. They're going to handle business this year against Denver. So like I did from day one, Mannings, and the records will show this. From day one, from the first podcast, I had Utah coming out of the West. I maintain my pick. Now we go to the big series now. Everybody want to know about. And everybody is intrigued and the hype, which starts tomorrow night, actually. The Nets versus the Bucks. All right. So the Nets are the Nets. The big three is the big three. All right. We know what KD brings. We know what James Harden brings. We know what Kyrie brings. But surprisingly for a lot of people, I am going with the Bucks. And I'm going with the Bucks for these reasons. All right. The first reason I go with the Bucks is Jrue Holiday. I am big on Jrue Holiday. Chris Lynch and I have had this conversation about Jrue Holiday at the Pelicans with AD. I remember, and as I was saying this to somebody yesterday, look at how we view Dame Lillard. Look at this clutch player that Dame Lillard is. I remember in that series that we spoke about Chris Lynch, Jrue Holiday totally shut down Dame Lillard in that series. Dame Lillard averaged 16 points in that series. That tells me that he has it on the defensive end. Outside of Chris Paul, and I guess Rando is done now for me. Outside of Chris Paul, I think Jrue Holiday is the greatest floor general. Well, no, Chris Paul and Luka Doncic. I think Jrue Holiday is the third greatest floor general in the NBA right now. I'm expecting a battle between him and James Harden to control the pace of the game, to control as point guard versus point guard. All right. But for me, Jrue Holiday is the better defender. See, and that is where I think I win the battle. Chris, I think where the fortunes of the Bucks lie, and this is where they could lose the series if they lose it. Chris Middleton is the man who me expect to be the difference maker. If Chris Middleton maintains the way he played in the last series, and how he has been playing in the season so far, if he maintains that, the Bucks will win this series. Giannis is gonna be Giannis. Giannis are gonna put up the numbers. The outside shooting that the Bucks have, don't discount Bobby Portis, G-Star. Bobby Portis is a dogged defender, and he might hit some great outside shots. The little youth named Bryn Forbes has been shooting light out. Almost like a Joker.
Protege, pop protege.
Saying,
just say no, Pioneer. Just like Jordan Clarkson, Forbes lights out is done right now.
No, hold on. But when we get to, how we can get away with that? You said you told me, that Jordan Clarkson will get sticky fingers. Did you see what Jordan Clarkson did in the last year's box? The sticky fingers.
That's front running. Pioneer.
Hold on. They went there in the series. They were down 1. But don't forget that Grizzlies won the first game.
Yeah, and they were down 1 and he played bad in even the second game.
Pioneer. Honestly, it is front running. 4-1 against Memphis. Yeah, man, that's front running. Never see what I'm getting now.
The verdict is still out. The verdict is out. Yeah. He played well in the series. Yeah. All right. Bryn Forbes, I expect Bryn Forbes to continue to be Bryn Forbes. This youth is shooting lights out from 3. PJ Tucker brings something to your team. He brings defensive tenacity again. He's a dogged defender. He might bring it to KD sometime. He might bring it to James Harden sometime. And he's a man who can hit the outside shot. I am picking the Bucks in this series in 6 or in 7. I have some money on it, and I'm not expecting.
1 second. Pioneer,
Go ahead.
You discuss the Bucks and don't say nothing about
the Nets.
About the Nets?
No, about Bucks. And you said nothing about the MVP and defensive player of the year, Giannis.
No, but I said Giannis. I'm saying Giannis is gonna be Giannis. We know Giannis. Well, I don't have to elaborate by Giannis, man. We know Giannis.
When you say Giannis is gonna be Giannis, it means in a tight game, the Nets is going to foul Giannis, send him to the free throw line, and that's where the game gone.
Thank you for mentioning. Thank you for it'll be remiss of me for fix. Let's keep over that. This is where, all right, because there are some areas where, and I remember break it down this way. See, I should have been making some notes. So apologies to you, gentlemen. There are some areas where the Nets have apparent advantages. You just mentioned that, Chris Lynch. The Bucks has shown that they are not a very good.
All right. Finally, we're coming to you next.
Seeing the Bucks, and this is where the Nets have an apparent. All of the Nets big three and basically the entire squad. Gio Harris is a good free throw shooter. Blake Griffin is an above average free throw shooter. And the bench shoots well. I think I misstate that. I think we're the Bucks, and how dare me leave this out again? Where the Bucks are gonna punish the net is around the rim. Brook Lopez is gonna be a sword to the net in this series. The only big man that is on the net roster that can contend with Brook Lopez is DeAndre Jordan. He has played a grand total of 0 minutes in these playoffs so far. Size is going to be a major problem for the Nets in this series. All right, so when it comes to size, defense, the Bucks has obvious advantage. When it comes to free throw shooting and a slight advantage in offense, that is where the Nets have it. But for me, as I said, may I go with a hungry Bucks team. G-Star have a term when I use. Sometimes the Nets get a little too cool for school for me. And I think when pressure is brought to bear, I think 1 or 2 of the big 3 have a crack. And I think that's where the Bucks have an advantage. I'm expecting Drew Holiday to almost be the man of the series in this series.
All right. So Chris Lynch.
Not when KD's alive.
All right. Chris Lynch over in the West, you have Utah and Phoenix, right? Going to the finals. That's what Chris Lynch has.
Yeah.
And then you have right. You have
no,
Utah
Dallas. I have Dallas and Phoenix.
And
don't
then Phoenix
get me
coming
Pioneer
up.
Thing. Yeah.
Right. All right. Pioneer have Clippers.
Yes.
Right, Pioneer? Clippers and Utah.
Clippers, but with not much conviction. But whoever comes out, Utah got one number.
Clippers and Utah, and then G-Star have coming out at the West. You have Clippers and Utah, and then you have Clippers winning. All right, and over in the East.
I have Clippers and Suns, and then Clippers winning.
Clippers winning. Yeah. Over in the East, everybody is saying, well, Chris Lynch is really. What happened in the Philadelphia series has to do with Embiid's health. If he's healthy, everybody picking them. If he's not healthy, most of us saying Atlanta. And Atlanta, Chris Lynch is saying that they're going to go up against Brooklyn. Brooklyn coming out. You two are saying that they're going to go up against Milwaukee. And Milwaukee coming out.
Hold on, I can say one thing now. About the Milwaukee.
Piney gone, so when he comes back, Yeah,
about the Milwaukee and the Nets. One key statistic I want to look at is rebounding, because just generally when you look at the offensive stats of the season, the Nets are a better shooting squad, as in from 2-pointers and from 3-pointers, right? So where Milwaukee, where they can get an advantage is to get extra shots. So if Milwaukee is dominant on the rebounding aspect of the game, then it's going to give them, it don't necessarily mean that them game winning, but it's going to give them a great chance to win, as well as the battle for turnovers.
I want to put note to what I said earlier. In the last series, and I looked at this, and this is what I use, but this is what I kind of use and gauge the Nets. In the last series, the Nets was playing against a depleted Celtics team. There was no Jaylen Brown, there was no Kemba Walker. So the main offensive thrust for the Celtics was coming from
Bro.
Even when the Nets put up 141 points, they allowed a depleted Celtics offense to put up 126 points against them. Even the second game when they won, they put up 120 points. They allowed a depleted.
That's motivation, though.
To put up 109 points, but interestingly, G-Star. What's the coach's name?
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash kept his starters in the game down to the 9 minutes of the game.
I don't know why.
There was no garbage time in those minutes. I was surprised they were up by 20 in the game that they scored 141. And with 2 minutes, with a minute and 30 seconds left, the starters were still in the game. That shows that this team is efficient on the defensive end of the court and playing against a more potent Milwaukee Bucks who will apply pressure to them on the defensive end. And we'll have more.
We didn't got James Harden though.
Well, all right. Before we get into that series, I want to give Piney an opportunity to to respond to the question that we asked. So finally, let me tell you, the question is, who are you picking in the series? That is the Philly versus Atlanta, Brooklyn versus Milwaukee. Over in the West, you have the Suns versus Denver, and Utah waiting on the winner of the LA Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, you know, Chris Lynch and I, we use crystal ball, and we saw Dallas coming out, but Pioneer and G are looking through some rearview mirror or something and see the Clippers. We don't know, you know. So what are your thoughts, Pioneer?
Dallas I take it tonight. Them take Paul Kawhi out and Paul George not have it. So Dallas I take it tonight. Them not gonna further.
So Dallas versus Jazz fine.
Yes.
Dallas I play who Dallas playing tonight?
The
series not over yet. The Mavericks are playing tonight. Game me talk about.
No. So you have Dallas coming out, and they're gonna end up playing the Jazz. Who do you have when them play the Jazz? Who you have winning that series?
I'm not gonna say it, Bridget.
Oh, let him take him time. He's building up.
The series not over yet. So man. The series over. We can't decide that.
No man, if Dallas win tonight.
Anyway, no.
Yeah, man. Let's move on, man. Move on to the Suns.
Come out. Dallas are gonna beat Utah the same way. I tell you what. Dallas have two. Dallas have a twin towers there. When the brother the way him name, the brother where them say the most loving player in the NBA right now, the big man,
Marjanovic.
Marjanovic.
When Boban and
a butterfinger that man. Man can't catch a butterfinger that the man come like a Kwame Brown man. The man can't catch ball, man.
No man, him decent, man.
What is the twin tower there for?
Can you play this Kwame Brown with pineapple on the live, brother?
Mister, where the twin tower there for? I don't see much twin tower in the NBA that's been scoring points. They there to alter, block shot and grab rebounds and give the outlet to the other smaller players. So that's what me talk about with the twin tower. Porzingis can shoot the ball. Mr. Butterfinger, who we're not talking about, anytime him get it anywhere, 14 to 18, he will get him 10, 12 points, as we've been seeing happening. So I don't know what to talk about, we're not talk about these. We need role players, and they are solid role players, both of them. Now you have Luka. Luka is motivated, and we don't know Luka a champion material from him, a baby. So I don't know about Utah. I don't go with them. I don't want them with nothing. Them should go right now. So I just promise I roll with Dallas to the end.
Okay.
From the West. So
okay, so Dallas coming out of the West. You have Dallas coming out of the West?
Where's the blood?
You have Dallas coming out of the West?
I have Dallas coming out of the West.
Really?
Yes.
Even over the Clippers, if they meet, if they're coming out of the West to beat the Clippers. You don't think I'm gone again? Him keep locking out time, bros. I don't know. I don't listen, let me give you my picks because
your picks, yeah man.
Yeah, hey listen. Here's what I'm good. Cause me I take chances, you know. I mean I get beer ranking and the thing name I am sure sports. So I mean I go with the sure winner them. Yeah, may I give the sure winner them. Listen, okay. I am sure that the Brooklyn Nets are coming up. So anybody them playing a Brooklyn, I'm going to go with. I cannot see, like I find it hard to believe that the combination. I think these guys have too much pride. Kyrie, James, and Durant have too much pride. There's too much, like, this would be the biggest failure in NBA.
Feels that win, not pride, yeah?
No, let me tell you this. If they lose this would be the biggest failure, I think, in the history of the NBA. That is how I see it. Because
Clippers for me.
No,
the
man,
Clippers.
listen.
For me, it was the Clippers last year. I tell you.
Well, listen. If this Brooklyn team don't even go to the Eastern Conference final, brother, like,
but they could lose to the champions. They could lose to the champions in Milwaukee quite easily.
No, man, I don't think, like, let me tell you, I personally believe that, yeah, a lot was expected of the Clippers last year, but people kind of felt like the Lakers could beat them. Nobody. Nobody right now. Even last year, people thought like, no man, the Lakers could beat them if everybody is healthy. People thought that. I think with this Brooklyn team, from they were assembled, everybody thought like, oh, there's nobody to stop this team.
No, you're right. They're out of class. They are out of class.
So if they don't make it to the Eastern Conference Final, this is worse than what the Knicks did. And I think that is going to. I want the Milwaukee Bucks to beat them, but I have to go with the sure bet. That's me. So I am going to pick. I'm going to pick Brooklyn. All right. Over on the other side now, I feel it for Embiid. Like it's just the other year, Pioneer and I were talking, and I'm saying that AD always getting injured, and Embiid seems to be back to good health, and then. Like there's something about, I don't know what happened. What most of the big players, with the exception of Shaq and probably Elijah one, always have knee issues.
Ironically, both of them got injured almost the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm driving from the left hand side of the rim, trying to make a dunk. Almost the same way they told him to do it. Yeah.
And I don't think. You see this? I think Washington. I never rated this guy called Jason Collins, the guy that I have the most challenge with on the Atlanta Hawks team, because I think Danny Green is with the Sixers. Is Danny Green? He's a very good defender. I don't think Young is going to have the same kind of as he did with the Knicks. Yeah, with the Knicks. But this guy called Jason Collins is a very good four. And I think he's underrated.
Ben Simmons is gonna shut down Jason Trey.
I think they have enough. But
Ben Simmons are gonna take pride in shutting down Trey.
I think if Jason Collins have a good series, the Sixers are going to have problems. But if he doesn't perform well, I don't see them beating Philadelphia, even without Joel Embiid, because Trae Young is not going to dominate Ben Simmons and Danny Green. I don't see that happening. That's what I
do. Just for the record, let me just tell you. For the record,
really?
I do.
You think for Chris Lynch? You think he's going to? Trae Young is going to be as dominant in this series as he was in the Knicks series?
He doesn't have to be as dominant. He can just be dominant.
Yes, because in the first game against New York, he basically filled out the game. And then after that, every time he drove, it's like it's a foul. If he doesn't get a basket, it's a foul. So it tells you that he's working on his game. And he's a basket because he's the next one who can pull up. Not from far as Stephen Dame, but he has his range also. He has a little range in his hand. So he doesn't really have to drive all the time. So I expect him to dominate just the same.
I think the best part for me, I think the biggest part of Ben Simmons' game is his defense. And I can't see Trae Young dominating him the way he dominated.
Manning's man, remember, in the NBA, they play pick and roll. So if Ben Simmons is guarded, just like Luka being guarded by Paul,
it's going to be Ben Simmons and Danny Green. So most of the pick and rolling.
Just like when you watch the Clipper game, right?
Anytime set Curry up on the court, basically anybody with the band, anybody with a guard set, I got come set the pick game, and I must switch off with set.
You don't see Zubats guarding Luka Doncic time and time again because they run pick and roll.
Yeah, man.
And you have to, you only have 3 options in a pick and roll, right? You can either switch one, or 2 people go to the ball, or 2 people go to the roll person. Those are the only options.
I can fight over the screen. Let me give you a good example. Listen, the Lakers last night. You know who to me was the most impressive Laker? Schroeder. I've never seen in a long while. Since Gary Payton and Sam Cassell, I've never seen a point guard play such good defense. It's a pity that they lost. The man was very good.
You know what it is? I know I want to point out something to people. imagine
Lynch,
LeBron and AD, just in hindsight, LeBron and AD was out for a big part of the season. You know that even with LeBron and AD out, the Lakers still had the #1 defense in the league, in the regular season.
And even having the #1 defense, they weren't winning games. That was the problem.
But then you needed to do it on the next.
Yeah, so defense doesn't really win games like people normally say that.
Yeah, it's offense. Yes, Chris Lynch. Offense, plus minus. I tell you.
That is why I was surprised.
What are we doing plus minus? Wait, I'm squeezing plus minus in that conversation, G-Star.
Plus minus.
As I was surprised that in game 5 and 6 time allowed Phoenix to get to such runaway starts. They have Booker hit 6 out of 6 last night from 3.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
So
that's the reason why he's a top player now.
All I'm saying, man, is that they're gonna run pick and roll, and more than likely Ben Simmons won't be the person that's gonna be guarding Trae Young. Game B, give me somebody else. Embiid or what a guy named Scott. You're gonna see a lot of them on the guard.
All right. Well, let me give you a good example. So I've watched a lot of games of the Hawks. I watch all the games with the Knicks. They look good against the Knicks in the playoffs because the Knicks only had one primary scorer in Derrick Rose. In other words, the disadvantage the Knicks had is that the two primary scorers score only from the left hand. And so I think because Philadelphia have better scoring options, you're going to see the weaknesses in the Hawks defense. And I think
option.
Tobias
or Joel Embiid.
Philadelphia better scoring option than New York, man. I mean, Green is a very good shooter still.
He's comparing them to New York. He's comparing to New York, not he's not comparing to Atlanta.
Oh yeah, compared to New York, absolutely.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying though, their offense is not a killer offense, the Philadelphia offense.
No, but what I'm saying is that when the Knicks played good offense against the same Atlanta team, they struggled. So and they are not good. The Knicks are not good offensively. So I'm saying,
if Embiid is at 75%, Philly win that series. If he's hobbling and him in and out like how AD in and out and him can't go in some games, then Atlanta I go with it.
Don't underestimate Clint Capella, Trust me. He's competitive.
I was just about to. That is exactly. Basically mentioned for me.
I don't rate Capella.
I got big. This is youth. Is a youth.
He's gonna. You never watch Capella, man.
When he was of course, when he was in Houston with James Harden, man.
Yeah,
no, man, that's 3 years ago. That's 3 years ago, man. We're talking about last year. Capella was balling.
No. I don't rate him.
Even Houston used the ball in Houston. Don't discount Clint Capella. Good big man.
I don't like big men who don't have a lot of elbow shots. Just love dunking. That's my problem.
But he's a great rim protector. Second probably only to you. Second only to maybe Rudy Gobert for me.
True.
Yeah.
But over in the West, so I am pricking Philadelphia and Brooklyn to go to the finals, and then and based on that, I really want
I have Milwaukee and the Jazz.
Right. No, but over in
two small markets, but that's how it is for me.
Yeah, but over in the West, I have been watching. I think Donovan Mitchell being healthy is the best thing that could have happened to the Jazz. So I looked at some of the games with Gobert because I wanted to see who is the liability on Utah's team. Gobert is not a liability on any end of the court. Mike Conley is not a liability on any end of the court. Donovan Mitchell, not a liability on any end of the court.
Bryce O'Neal balling, hitting.
No. The one thing I must say, one thing I would say though is that Ingles has been struggling.
No man.
Yeah man. Check the stats in the playoff. In the
He hasn't got
playoffs,
a lot of minutes, but he hasn't got. But he has gotten
4
shine. He has.
points. The most points he has scored is 4. Up to the last game that they played, 4 points is the most
Yeah,
points in the playoffs.
but Mannix, man, Joe Ingles is respected. Believe me, he's respected,
No,
man.
no, man. What I'm saying to you is that he's struggling.
Fair enough.
Up to the last game, the most points he had in the series is 4 points.
All
But
right.
he's still a threat. That's all I'm saying. You know, he's still a threat.
No, that's what I'm saying. That he needs to improve, because if he continues like that against the Brooklyn, in other words, he cannot score 4 points for the series against Brooklyn. And
Okay, all right.
That's what
I'll
I'm
understand.
So do you have the Jazz coming out of the West, man?
Yeah, well, at this time, because I think they have less liabilities on their team in comparison to any of the other teams.
It's the most rounded. They have a lot of things. It's
Yeah.
the most G-Star. It's the most rounded team in the NBA for me. Them fill out every position with 2 players. Saying plus them have a great advantage. They have the winningest league. They have the best record in the league, and that means they have home court right throughout the Western Conference, and even when they get to the final. And everybody knows.
And they have big bodies. They have Gobert, but Favors come on. Derek Favors play well coming off the bench.
Trust me, you're preaching to the choir.
Respectfully go 11 deep. They go 11 deep, solid 11 deep. Because I'm saying to you know, man, everybody knows that Utah is not one of the most comfortable places to play. Everybody hates playing in Utah. So they have that distinct advantage when it comes to home court. You understand?
Yeah.
Plus, they are a very deep team. And I've been saying this from the season start. Deep, well-coached team that has been playing together for a while. Dangerous.
But a liability. It's a possible liability. Live by the 3, die by the 3.
But what I'm saying, that still, Donovan Mitchell drives to the basket, Gobert.
Pioneer, you know that. If you live by the 3, you can die by the 3.
But they can beat him in different ways, G-Star.
You think so? You think they're that versatile offensively?
Don't sleep on Donovan Mitchell's ball handling.
No, I was about to say that. Outside of Donovan Mitchell, though, Pioneer. Outside of Donovan Mitchell, who else really? Who are you scared of as a defender?
Who can score inside?
No, but who else? I'm saying, who else do you fear when you play Utah? Okay, Donovan Mitchell is one player. Who else?
No, let me tell you this now. Mike Conley's ability to penetrate as a point guard will always give a player like Gobert a lot of
easy basket.
Right, easy basket. Let me give you an example. The thing with Utah is that they are so good in rebounding in the league. Check it. Especially with Gobert on the court, that even when they're missing the trees, they still get
Don't forget. All of that is great, you know. But it's when it comes down to playoff basketball and big time basketball, it comes down to, can you get the ball in the basket? That is ultimately what this comes down to.
I tell you this, a wounded animal is a dangerous animal. And Utah, based on them being up 3-1 last year and losing to the Nuggets, is a wounded animal. They are a team and a mission. Don't forget and don't overlook that they have this reigning 6th man of the year, Jordan Clarkson, who, in spite of my brother Chris Lynch, and some have sticky fingers, when he gets it going, he's as devastating as any starter. That man can drop 40 on you coming off of the bench. And that is an asset to have on your team. Trust me.
Yeah, Pioneer. It's sweaty palms. I think that's what it is. Sweaty palms. Sticky fingers. You get me? Sweaty palms.
He dropped 24 in the last game, and he dropped 24 in the game before that.
No, I rate Donovan Mitchell, you know. Don't get me wrong. So anybody who is saying Utah Jazz, I can totally understand. You're right. Everything you guys said. They have depth. They have good offense. They have good defense. When everything breaks down, they have a one-on-one player with Donovan Mitchell. So they're definitely set up for success. I'm just not a believer in the Jazz. And
they're hungry.
I have Clippers or Dallas, and the reason why I know, even if Dallas comes out, it comes down to who is the better player, who has more impact, and for me, it's gonna be Luka Doncic.
Listen,
If
let me tell you this. Let me give you a next point, Jason. I think that Dallas is one injury away from being ineffective.
I mean, I injured the Luka.
Like if Luka goes, or even Porzingis.
no, but that's every team.
No. What I'm saying to you is that, well, no, let's work with me now. I believe that if Conley re-aggravates his injury, Utah
still, I get
still.
what you mean.
But
That's all I'm saying.
You're picking a role player. You pick a superstar and pick Donovan Mitchell. If Donovan Mitchell goes, that's
But
it for you.
I'm not picking this. Listen.
You said
I am saying
Luka
to
or
you.
Porzingis?
No, man.
you
Porzingis.
pick-
What I'm saying to you, Porzingis is as important to Dallas as Conley is to Utah.
I
And that
don't
is
think
why
so.
I'm using both of them.
I get the point you're trying to make, man.
disagree. Utah has more depth. Utah has more depth than
Much more
Dallas
depth.
like that.
Right. No, man. They have more depth. But what I'm saying is that who is the you'd say the primary second option on the Mavericks?
Tim Hardaway.
No, man. Porzingis.
Well, it's supposed to be Porzingis, but so in this series so far, it has been.
But it is
Yeah,
Porzingis.
on some nights it's Tim Hardaway, for sure.
And
It's
what I am
supposed to be Porzingis, but Tim Hardaway is the man who will carry the second string.
Right. So that is why I am saying on the Jazz team, second to Donovan Mitchell, the next important man is Conley. And then Gobert, and then Gobert, and then Gobert, and then Gobert.
I'll tell Gobert.
I would definitely say Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert, because he's the primary rim protector and the anchor and defense. But I say is Rudy Gobert.
And he's the one who set the pace.
I think they could realistically lose Conley and still win the NBA.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to listen,
that's valuable.
Yeah.
Porzingis is more valuable.
And then when I look at Clippers, I don't think the Clippers have enough scoring to outscore Jazz. And they can't defend as good as the Jazz in the paint.
As I said, the Jazz for me is the most, and I've been saying it from early. As I said, you are what your records they are. They have the best record in the NBA for a reason. They are the most completed, most rounded team in the NBA. They are hungry, they are wounded, and they are a team on a mission. And I think they have
capability. One thing in that factor in Pioneer.
Yeah.
They're not the most talented. And when it comes down to winning NBA championships, I would say 99% of the time it's a team with more talent, or maybe 95% of the time.
What do you think?
So you're picking Brooklyn G-Star. You're picking Brooklyn.
And then Milwaukee. I don't know our Milwaukee.
What do you think on the list that that Mannings gave us with the 5 young players? Do you think I have Donovan Mitchell at number 2? And I said it for the first podcast. Donovan Mitchell started. I remember the year when they defeated the Thunders with Westbrook. That was his rookie year. In his first year in the league, first time making it to the playoff, they got to the second one. He defeated who was supposed to be a superstar, Russell Westbrook. All right.
Come on, I'm right here with you on Donovan Mitchell. Believe me.
And as I said on the first podcast, man, this is the year that Donovan Mitchell, as Shaq called him out, I don't even know about that. Shaq said
I know about it.
The Shaq said to him, listen, show me that you have it. Show me that what you can do. He called him out basically, and I think this is the year when Donovan Mitchell shuts up Shaq and the rest of the league who doubt it. I think this is the year when he shows that
yeah, man, and that's the beauty of these players because we're going to see, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Is Donovan Mitchell, is he really underrated or is he a superstar? And then we're going to see with Booker as well.
Yeah. I think all of those 5 gentlemen that I think the only one who I think already Tatum, he's at the door entering superstar, right? He's in the lobby of the Superstar Hotel, right? All right. I would say the same thing for Devin Booker. I would say the same thing for Donovan Mitchell. I think the only man who is in the parking lot at the Superstar Hotel right now is Ja Morant. Of those 4.
No.
Yeah,
but
really?
Yeah,
Pioneer, how many superstars you believe are in the NBA?
All right. You see that is a question because you see I'm going to separate superstars from megastars. There are some megastars in the NBA like Steph, LeBron, KD. Those guys are megastars. But these young cats are playing at a
I'm
superstar
talking
level.
undercourt
I think,
superstar, undercourt superstar,
yeah,
not jersey sales and selling
no, I'm not
shoes.
talking about jersey sales. I'm saying, G-Star, I have a saying when I always say, Granny always tell me this. If you want to know if the chicken are big, now wait until him grow. Look on him foot. When a man
Yeah.
shows me what he can do at an early stage, Devon Booker last night showed that he's on his way to superstardom.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum got 50 against KD and the loaded Nets. He showed that
But listen, but Pioneer, but you have to put Jay Morant in there because he had the youngest team. They have the youngest team, and look what they did. They defeat Golden State in a brother.
No, I'm not doing it.
But he didn't have one of those. He didn't have any of those kind of performances, man. As I said to you, he's in the parking lot. He's coming into the lobby.
In terms of, he didn't have one of those performances.
Into the lobby, but he's not there yet. He's in the parking lot. Those are the gentlemen who said about they are in the lobby. They are checking in right now.
Okay.
They are checking in right now. They're heading for the front desk right now to check in.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Cameron has just driven up in the parking lot. He must have a parking vehicle, get him baggage, and head for the lobby. He must still have another year and a half, 2 years to show that. But I think those other 4 youngsters.
Well, the only problem I have is that I know that the Memphis, they're planning on the Timberwolves and the Memphis maybe moving in a couple of years. I'm wondering if the owners are going to want to invest in like a team like the Memphis. That's the problem I think Ja Morant going to face.
That's politics. So we see how that play out.
Yeah, but if I'll give you G-Star. So we're wrapping up because I know Pioneer. I mean, we're gone way past time when he up to head back out of town. Yeah, man. But yeah, man. Take some time and wrap up what they have to say as we wrap up this wonderful, almost 2 hours. You understand me? What you have to say in closing? What is your overview? And then I'll come to you, Pioneer, and then
Well, the overview is it's been a good playoff so far, right? For me, the West Finals gonna be a little bit boring, just for me as a fan, right? The East, love the East, and then now bring it back to the Milwaukee Bucks and the Nets for a little bit. One thing I haven't heard Pioneer say is that who is going to guard James Harden? No.
I told you. Jrue Holiday.
Yes, and Jrue Holiday cannot guard James Harden. I tell you that. He can guard Kyrie. But and that's the thing. Sometimes you have a player that you can guard well, and then some players he's just a different type of player, and you just can't guard him. So, and Jrue Holiday can only guard one of them. He can only guard one at a time. And furthermore, he cannot stop Kyrie. I mean, not Kyrie, sorry. He can't stop James Harden. So that is.
They will go between him and Middleton for Kyrie, and between him and Middleton for Kyrie, and they will utilize PJ Tucker.
Yeah, but none of those guys can stop James Harden, is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what makes Brooklyn so special, because basically they have 3 players that are unstoppable, right? So you may be able to lock down James Harden, but how you can lock down Kyrie? Maybe you lock down KD. How you can lock down Kyrie and James Harden?
As I said, G-Star, I am expecting Brooklyn. I'm expecting the Bucks to bring some pressure to bear on this next team, and 1 or 2 of that victory is gonna crack under the pressure, and I think they're gonna be exposed a bit, and I think that will be enough for the Bucks win 4 games in a series and take it either in a 6 or in 7.
Okay. All right. No, well, that's fair enough. And this is the beauty of it, because we're going to see it play out. Are the Brooklyn Nets mentally weak? Because I think management said it's going to be one of the biggest flops. And the reason why it's going to be one of the biggest flops is because they have 3 unstoppable players. And if you have 3 superstars on the same team, you should not lose. I think the last time superstars of this nature, they'll tell you that it was Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and Will Chamberlain. So that was what, 50 years ago? So this team should not lose. I think that's pretty much it.
All right. For me, the playoffs have been wonderful. I've had a lot of sleepless nights in the last week. Watching the games, sitting up for the post-game analysis, and some of the interviews and things. The playoffs have been wonderful. The NBA is back. I want to make a note though. So I'm going to pull out the 2 hours, man. For the person who kind of doubt the NBA, I'm making observations in terms of the viability of the league. I'm making some observation in terms of the viability of the league and the growth of the NBA. The growth of the NBA going forward. All right. Luka, and there's a bit of politics in this. Luka is one of the next superstars of the NBA. He's white. That says appeal. Not since Larry Bird has there been a white player that is this mega star in the NBA. Jokic is also one of the superstars, or the upcoming and budding superstars in the league. He's also white. So there's a diversity now that is in the NBA that I think will attract new fans and it will add to the growth of the league. In addition to all of these young, exciting players that we have just mentioned. And I think that the NBA is in good hands right now and it will speak to major growth in the league over the next 4 to 5 years.
I would say, listen, I agree with you. That's one of the things I want to say, that the NBA.
You're a little low, man. I'm not hearing.
You're not hearing me? The NBA are in good hands. The NBA is in good hands, right? The NBA is in good hands.
Because I'm not hearing you. You guys have basically been. I don't know if my mic is mute or something, or my instrument is mute, but I'm not hearing you clear.
Oh, okay. No, I said no, pretty much the same thing that you guys are saying in terms of the league and the place that's where it is right now in terms of the young stars and the up and coming superstars, even like all that Zion. So, and then hey, Mannings man, just remember the name, you know.
I'm a little deaf to what is being said right now. You're a gentleman, so I'm not beer with me, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Okay, all right.
Obi tapping.
Me and my instruments. I think that is the problem.
I didn't hear that.
There are 2 calls and I kind of skip them. So I don't know if that is what resulted in the problem. I'm hearing you vaguely. So I don't know. What's
you can hear me clearly, man?
Yeah, man, I hear no G-Star. All right, Pioneer, we'll work out something. Go ahead, G-Star.
Yeah, man. No, all I'm saying is the New York Knicks. If Lillard is not even a possibility, that just put him out. As I said, maybe is not next upcoming free agency. I think the one after that, the New York Knicks will be a player. So what I want them to do is develop their young talent now. Obi Toppin, Quigley, Knox, Barrett, even Randall some more, you know. So that's what I'm hoping, because there are not many showstoppers in the NBA. You have superstars, but sometimes those superstars are showstoppers. The guy Obi Toppin, no, I remember. He reminds me of Sean Kemp. No, that's a big name in basketball, you know, history, right?
Yeah, man. Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, and he's not as explosive as Sean Kemp with his dunks, right? And I think Sean Kemp is a better dunker. Don't get it twisted, right? But he reminds me of that kind of Sean Kemp, but the new age, the one that can shoot a 3, put the ball on the floor a little better, finish it with the left hand at the rim, finish with the right hand at the rim. Yeah. So for Obi Toppin, I hope next year he gets more PT for the New York Knicks, you know?
Yeah, man. So in closing, I'll say the NBA is in good hand. I love the fact that the smaller markets have some of the superstars. It's good to see, you know, when I remember Zach Randolph and that Paul Gasol, that Mike Conley team, and Tony Allen down in Memphis. To finally see Jay Morant and some young talent down there, you know, to see Denver. You know, you go back to the Marcus Camby days down in Denver to see the Joker and Murray down there. You know, I'm happy. I am happy that there are so many young talents in some of the untraditional markets or the small market areas. Team coming up. I mean, and so the NBA is in good hand. You always wonder what would happen when LeBron leaves, because he only has 2 more years. But there are so many players from top to bottom that they can look at and say, yes, we haven't even mentioned like a Zion, you know, so there are so many players in the league right now, and so the league is in good hands. Again, I really want to thank you guys, Pioneer. I mean, G Star.
Yeah. Yes,
I
yes,
want,
yes. Fine.
yeah,
You
man.
don't know him.
Yeah, man.
Manning, man.
Chris Lynch, you
Yeah,
want to leave Pioneer, big up all of the persons who watch the video, who will watch the video. Enough respect. G Star, you were going to say something.
yeah. So on on the very first time we did this, you asked the question about the top 5 guards, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I like Pioneer is that this playoffs we're gonna see it play out. Bradley Beal not in it, but we're gonna see Devin
Luka,
Booker. Yeah, we're gonna see Devin Booker, Luka, and
Donovan
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Yeah, so we're gonna see who can fight it out, and then so and who was the best of that bunch. So that was a good
Yeah.
question from the Mannings man.
Yeah, man. All right, respect, man. Pioneer, you back up or you still having challenge?
Okay, gentlemen. A lot of what has been said in the last 2 minutes. I've been unable to hear clearly. I'm just hearing vehicle. But in wrapping up, I want to say, give thanks, man, and say for be a part of the podcast again. And look forward to doing this again, maybe closer to the end of maybe the second, maybe third round, maybe going into the final.
No, I said conference finals.
Hopefully going into the finals when the Milwaukee Bucks will be meeting the Utah Jazz. But then I must say that I'll have been a couple. I don't want to be a figure, but I'll be a little bit richer by then because of some wagers that I'm presently engaging. I might be able to bring drinks to the next podcast, but
wonderful. And I have a wager for you, G Star, so we need to get it because apparently you win a bet. But much respect, really, Sunday, Monday, it's a Friday evening, and looking forward to doing this again. To everyone out there, remember, stay safe, bless, stay safe and live good.
Respect,
you understand me? Yeah, man. All right, then.